Hey?
I think I want the sound to happen.
Hello everybody, good morning. We're live, Laura Ansell and Louise Winchester at Sacred Space here in Manly, Sydney, Australia. And we're going to talk today quite a lot about crystal frequencies and the ascension energy and what's happening right now and relevant to all of us. And Laura and I were just discussing what was happening with clients this week. And there's a couple of things that I've been seeing, and experiencing myself, is periods of being quite out of myself or out of my body and not being completely here. But I had one day of that, and then I started to get lots and lots of clients coming through that were really quite out of themselves and like going spacey and going, what's going on?
Yeah, I felt like that too.
Yeah.
Last week.
And do you think that's the magnetics? Or
Possibly. It was strange though, because no matter what I did, I couldn't pull myself back in. But I felt like maybe we all needed a break, like it took us out to cleanse us. That's what it felt like to me. Because normally I can go back into my body pretty easily.
And we're definitely in a calming down, resting period, even though it's kind of crazy out there. There's like a lot more awareness around self-care, getting enough sleep, enough rest, and taking
water.
time out, and as it heats up here too. And we've got a couple of people online. Who have we got there? Just give us a thumbs up so we know who's watching. We're going to be talking about loads of different crystals here this morning. So let's have a look at what we've got on the table. We'll start with this baby because we've really got a powerhouse of crystals out today, and I've been busy making some new pieces, and that is one of the biggest bits, but it is phenomenal and amazing. Good morning, Michelle. This crystal here is a cluster of angel aura quartz, and I'm just checking to see if it's got lots of timelines on it. And I always have had with clusters are about connecting you to new networks of people and making collaboration energy and projects and bringing stuff into reality. And the angel aura, even though it says the word angel, I haven't actually worked specifically with that coating, but in comparison, this one here, which is the cobalt, this is all about communication and building communication systems so you can like build networks and connect out to more people. So this is usually through the word or the voice. And as some of you might know, I was wearing, and I still have, my amazing piece like this. So I've managed to source. It took me a couple more years to actually find some more pieces because these are special. These are celestials. They're not just a flat quartz crystal, they're a celestial crystal. And I'm wearing around my neck today something spectacular, and I'll see if I can take it off. It's a black Herkimer diamond twin. Hang on. So this is extremely rare, this crystal. And hi Michelle, hi Katie, May. And this is, I don't know if you guys can see, it's an celestial where it's got steps upon steps upon steps. And if you've been into Sacred Space, you know there's a massive 23 kilo celestial. I'm obsessed with celestials. Celestials are fantastic at helping to read records, and they amplify your psychic abilities in being able to tune in and pull down records of anything that you want to connect with in time. And this week I've been working with Asha on a new modality that she's learning to master, which is all about accessing different archetypes of self in the quantum field and looking at the story from the different archetypes and looking at which archetypes are working for you and which archetypes are not working for you, and how to unify and get them to work together. and that's really fascinating. So I'm stealing, borrowing this fabulous black Herkimer diamond celestial scepter to.
It just sounds powerful.
I know, it is extremely powerful, to help me to unify my archetypes, which is really, truly fascinating stuff. Now, I'm just going to flick off, I'm going to pop that one back on because
Is this the same
amazing.
diamond?
Sorry?
Is that the same or is it different?
Well, it is different. It's similar. This is an incredible piece of rock that I managed to acquire from America. It's a one of a kind. That is black Herkimer diamond rock face. Those sparkles are real. Those are real diamonds. That is not like modified. That is literally the rock that's been cut out of the rock face right there. This is super cool stuff. I know, I've been waiting for this piece to come in.
It's really powerful. I can feel it from here.
Can you? What can you feel?
It feels like this energy of safety for me.
Yeah.
It feels
protection.
like everything's okay. Is it good for protection?
I think the black Herkimer diamond is connected with that because one of the things that Ash was pulling up in my energy field was a lack of how I didn't have protection as a child from my family, and how that it's like my field's just not guarded. There's no guarding of it, and that's why I'm really drawn to the black Herkimer diamond at the moment, and I'm working with this for the first time at the moment. So anyway, it is just spectacular.
It feels like an energy literally wrapping around you and holding you.
Yeah, well, I need a bit of that.
I know.
We all need a bit of that. We all need a bit of love.
Yeah,
and
I like that a
protection.
lot. It's like Big Mama
Oh,
energy.
it's so stunning.
It's like the yin and the yang with the white and the black as well.
I know. Yeah. So the black, I believe, and I'm not a mineralogist, I'm just a esoteric tune-in kind of person. The black is carbon inside the diamonds, and I don't know if you can see how little baby diamonds are.
Do you ladies have a store physically or online? Both?
Yes, both. Multiple. So
This is the physical store.
This is the physical store, and you can only see a tiny bit of it. We're based in Sydney, Australia, Manly, and the store is called Sacred Space. So you can find that online at sacredspace.global. Most of my pieces are not up online because it's so much work, and you can always message me on here or try and get in touch, and I can go through what I've got here and actually do a video call with you to show you what I've got in my cabinets and talk to you personally about what it is that you've got going on in your life and what you might be drawn to and why you're drawn to a specific crystal. So, okay, now let's have a talk about this one here. This is another powerhouse. Okay, this is the first time I've ever done one of these. This is unique. Okay,
Do you want me to do it while you talk?
I'm just gonna move the label on it, so hopefully you guys can actually see what that is. So this is celestial again. What I was talking about is celestial is a type of quartz, and it's brilliant for if you're a reader of any kind or like working with your psychic abilities. Celestials are fantastic crystals. This is a scepter again, but this is a miniature scepter. This is actually a very small version of like the 23 kilo piece that I've got out in my, sorry, that's one of the computers going off there.
Do you want me to do something?
No.
Okay.
This is a very small version. This is like a miniature celestial. And then what I've done is I've set it in silver, but when they're like this and set like this is also about past life power integration and absorbing like some of those gifts and talents and unique skills that you've got from lifetimes. If you haven't already started to access that and unify that, this would be a fantastic piece. it's a real generator, but it's also, because it's in the white zone, as in it's all about access to source, access to records. Fantastic crystal. So that is, if you're looking for an celestial, there's a lot of different types of celestials. Behind me, I have got smoky quartz celestial with some fuchsia and lepidolite sticking out of this big rock over on the corner. It's too heavy to lift. And then I have an anhydro, which has a water bubble inside it. So that's actually a water bubble that's been caught over millennia. And you can actually, you know, when you get a spirit level and you see that bubble go up and down, you can see the bubble go up and down inside the crystal. Yeah. That's that big celestial generator over there. And then I'll just get this one out. This is a small version. Seeing as the celestials want to speak.
Can you take that one?
Yeah, I'm just getting this one. Oh, there's a fantastic one there too. So, this one here, do you want to show it off? Maybe that way around?
That way around?
Yeah. So, celestials have lots and lots of faces that step and step and step and step. They are a type of quartz. This one's a smoky quartz celestial, and this is a rather rare. This is a citrine celestial. Super rare. And it has a little bit of smoky in the top of it. You can see that line sitting right there. I don't know what our signal's like today and how good an upload digitally we've got. But that's a really unusual piece of smoky citrine. There's even a little bit of sulfur inside the crystal on the corner of it. Other types of celestials are really good clear quartz celestials. I've had amethyst celestials as well, with being really dark purple with a red oxide on them, on the outside of them. And they are definitely to do with achieving more wisdom. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and the reason why I've got this citrine celestial out as well, is I was going to talk about abundance, or lack of. Abundance. Abundance comes in various different forms.
Yeah.
So abundance can be having lots of things, but abundance can be also cash flow, and also limitations and restrictions in what you actually want to do and achieve, but you can't necessarily do and achieve because there's a block in the flow. And there is something that we can do physically outside of the inner work that we do in order to lift and shift our reality and change and evolve our space. And it's working with a feng shui technique, which is to place in the southwest corner of your house, southeast corner
Southeast.
of your house,
Yeah.
I corrected myself then, a bowl that has like curved edges to it. And then what you do is you place your coins and your money and lots of citrine or pieces of citrine, and I do recommend that you actually get pieces of natural citrine and make sure that they're natural citrine. Natural citrine, I can show you the difference with understanding what's heat treated citrine and what is natural citrine.
Citrine works for me. I always put my citrine on my debit cards and make money like that. I told you that story.
Oh,
Yeah.
just maybe you want to speak up.
I did I have a citrine at home, and someone told me it was good for money and you should keep it in your purse, but mine was like a small version of this. So I took out my debit card and my credit card and I put the citrine in the window of the sunlight. I pointed it like that at the sunlight so that it would come down and go into the cards as well. Extra love. And I did it, and I think I made $2,000 within an hour. It's a great story.
Excellent. We all like that.
So yeah,
Every
I do it
little
all the time.
helps,
Like,
as they say.
when I remember, I just stick it on, and I seem to bring in money that way. It works. It works.
This is interesting. This crystal looks like it's wet. Can you see that?
Mhm.
But it's not.
Shiny.
Bizarre. Sorry, we digress. Okay, so citrine, natural citrine, when you can see the rock as a sparkly rock like this, you can tell it's natural citrine when it's got brown rock underneath. Okay? That's my interpretation of like knowing whether it's real or not. And then there's two types of citrine in tumble stones that I'm going to get. It's this type, which you can't guarantee is natural citrine. It might be heat-treated amethyst. It's in an unknown area where it could be either or, and you can't guarantee unless you can actually see the back of the rock is brown, okay? And then this, which I don't know if you can see, is really clear, and that's high-grade natural citrine. And usually if somebody's selling natural citrine, it will say natural citrine against it. So I would put 8 pieces of citrine in an abundance bowl.
Why 8?
8 is the number associated with abundance.
Of course.
And if you've got 8s in your chart, you don't have a problem, you don't need an abundance bowl to start with.
Guilty.
Yes, I'm sure you are. I'm not. I don't have any 8s in my chart.
You can have some of my 8.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. So does anybody have any questions around that? Oh, I must talk about the money tree in a minute.
Citrine money tree. Have you got those? You know the little tree?
No, I don't. I've got something spectacular though.
Oh.
So
You could buy one of these, put that in your money corner, and you're good to go.
I'm just gonna have a look at the. Oh yeah, that's really rare. I'm just gonna click more here and see what this says. Okay, so you're drawn to rubies. Rubies for me are about acquiring more life force energy and integrating more light into the physical so that you can actually do the job that you're here to do.
Oh, do you have any rubies?
I do have rubies. I'm sure people know what rubies look like though. I have like
She has so many crystals.
this is a spectacular ruby. So that's a really good ruby right there. And I think this one's about $40. It's quite a large one, but let's just do that again. So that's a good size ruby to be working with. That ruby is reminding me of something I wanted to talk about today, which is how to clear crystals and how to tune into crystals, which I need to do in every single broadcast, I think. And so I often get asked, first of all, how to tune into a crystal, and secondly, how to clear a crystal. So there's multiple ways that you can clear a crystal. You can take a crystal and put it in the ocean and let the salt water swill around it. And I always say to people, you know what it's like when you get in the ocean, you always feel fantastic afterwards because it reionizes your etheric, so it reionizes the energy. And in addition, people use sage, so you can sage it with fanning sage across a crystal, or you can use a spray which has got sage oil in it. And then the other one, which is really simple, that you don't need any gizmos to do, is actually to tap into your own light and open to channel and run light through the crystal and ask any intentions that you've placed within the crystal, or any residual energies that are not connected to the crystal, be lifted to the light. And you literally run your channel through the crystal and blow off the energy, so you can reprogram it. One of the things that you can do with crystals is take your consciousness in via your heart. So you shut your eyes, you go in via your heart into the crystal, breathe in and out of the crystal, and then let the energy run and allow it to go where it wants to. So it's going to run through your chakras, and sometimes it's going to go and it's going to repair some particular part of your base chakra, or it's going to go up into your throat and clear your throat. Just breathe in and out of the crystal and allow it to run its energy wherever you need it to go. And you can program them with a specific mission or purpose. So you can, that will lead me into working with some of the bigger abundance crystal, the biggest abundance crystal. Let's talk about, there are 2 master crystals on Earth that I'm aware of. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there might be some others out there. So this is the first one I want to talk about. This baby here, this is a Herkimer diamond. Again, we were talking about Herkimers earlier, but this is a double terminated Herkimer piece. And double termination means like, this is a toroidal field clearer. So your toroidal field goes up energetically, but it also goes down energetically and runs the opposite way. It's the positive and negative polarities of your energy field. And Herkimer is called the master crystal because when you first start channeling with it, it actually hurts to work with it. So you first start with a small Herkimer diamond and you'll work your way up into bigger and bigger and working with them. And if you tap in with your mind into your heart and work with a Herkimer and pull the energy up and out of your third eye, I would say to people, it actually hurts when you first start channeling with a Herkimer, because you can feel it stretching your chakra. You can feel it stretching the amount of light that you can run through your physical being. And that's why it's called the master crystal, because it really is the highest vibrational mineral that we have, and it's totally different to a regular diamond. It just doesn't have the same energy. A regular diamond is a symbol of commitment and karmic contract, soul contract that you have with another. And that's the energy that the diamond has taken on, but the Herkimer is a whole other ball game. It is really a master channeler's crystal.
I wore mine 3 days in a row, my ring. And by the 3rd day I was driving and it was literally hurting my hand. I had to take it off.
And was it was hurting in your hand?
It was hurting the energy inside my finger, and to the point where I was like, I can't wear this. I had to take it off. It was distracting. It was like it was itching. I just had to take it off. And I cleansed it and I put it on about 3 days later and it was fine. But I can't wear mine for more than 3 or 4 days in a row. It starts to get like no more.
Yeah. Well, one of the pieces I've got at home, I acquired years ago, and it is 6 Herkimer diamonds set in a Star of David with a rainbow bojo in the middle of it. And I found it so intense I could not wear it at all. And I've only recently sort of hit a level in my own energy where I can put it on myself and wear it. Some Herkimers can be incredibly, incredibly powerful. And I know that there's a lot of stuff out there that talks about moldavite. Let's talk about moldavite because I've got all the big guns out today.
Someone has a question.
Oh, really?
Does it have to be double?
No, it doesn't. Double terminated just means like it's it's a bit like reading the tarot cards. Crystals have different forms or shapes. Where you wear them has different significance, and what the actual crystal is as well has different alchemy. So they all have like unique. I have single Herkimers, I have twin Herkimers, which means another thing. I have double terminated Herkimers. I've got black Herkimers and white Herkimers, and I have triple A grade super clear Herkimers. So they all got like, they're all different types, and then they all have slightly different alchemy. And I always say to people, it's better to have a look at what you're drawn to, and then I'll talk about the energy of what that means, and then the resonance of the words. If it's right for you, the energy runs, you feel it in your energy field, and you know it's a match. And that's really how to work with crystals, is having somebody to properly interpret for you what its function is and why you're drawn to it, because it means then something at a soul level. It means it's like resonating in your energy field, and you're not just acquiring or buying an object that like maybe it had a bit of a buzz to it. It's got to have some meaning and some purpose and some energy behind it.
You'll know if it's for you, because you're like, well, how many times do I come in here and try to leave the store and can't because it's a crystal shouting my name?
And they do.
It literally won't let
It's
you
like a
not
trick
walk
to
away.
me.
Yeah.
And I get people who go, I can't do this, I'm going to have to go and make a decision about it, and then like they're back in an
It's like a
hour
rubber
because
band.
you can't walk away from it. And a lot of crystals and jewellery, the stuff that I create, it's one of a kind. I'm not going to have another opportunity to pick up another piece of this. Like, some of these rocks are incredibly rare and very difficult for me to get a hold of. And then I have to wait sometimes nearly a year to actually get them set. So if you actually see something that you like with Sacred Space, it's best to actually just go, okay, right, best get it, because you're not going to see it again.
Katie wants something.
What do you want, darling?
I'd be interested in getting one off you.
Okay, thank you very much, Katie. Like I said, maybe you can personally connect with me, Louise Winchester, and then it will make it easier for me to connect with you and do a discussion about, I'll do a live video with you, and you can have a look at what I've got in the cabinets and we'll see what's right for you. Are you particularly interested in Herkimer? Hi Jackie, thanks for joining us. We're talking about crystals, and we've been talking about citrine, abundance, prosperity, celestials, clusters, black Herkimer diamonds, and now we're moving on to moldavite, which loads of you know about. Moldavite, it's a dark green mineral. Now my understanding, okay sweetie, thank you. My understanding of moldavite is that meteor hit Czechoslovakia, and I'm sure there's other areas where moldavite is, but it hit Czechoslovakia 4 million years ago and formed the moldavite crystal. So if I was to talk about the different types, I've just got to get a tektite.
With moldavite, you want to keep it in a box somewhere, right?
I'm going to
Somewhere
talk
safe.
extensively about moldavite.
Because it's the crystal that runs away from you. So people, if you Google it, you'll see people have little boxes or somewhere where they put the crystal after they've used it, because it does tend to run away from you. When I bought one last year, I meditated with it. It was really powerful. It was kind of hot in your hand. And then I fell asleep with it and never saw it again. So you want to, it's the crystal that's known to run away. So you want to put it in a safe place after you've done with it.
Okay.
You might lose it.
So, in my knowledge, there's 5 different types, and I'm missing one because it's so super expensive. So I'm going to be talking about the meteorite family of crystals now. So meteorites are, this is a true meteorite here. Meteorites, in my understanding, are bits of space rock, but they are exploded sun solidified into rock and landing on Earth. So a meteorite, a true meteorite, this is Gibeon meteorite right in the middle of this, and I'm sure it's going to be hard because of the upload quality, but it looks like a kind of metal, but it is a crystal, and it has lots of sketchy lines on the front of it, usually because that's a slice. So a Gibeon meteorite, this is the true meteorite to me, and it's a very protective, sort of higher dimensional shield energy that comes off of this frequency of crystal. Again, it's a meteor that's hit the Earth and it's exploded sun solidified into rock, and that's my understanding of it. Now, I used to wear one that had a Star of David over the front of it. Gibeon meteorite can be extremely expensive, and there is a version out there, and I've seen pieces of rock wholesale for $25,000 US that are only this big when you have meteorite and moldavite in the meteorite together.
No big deal.
And I'm just talking about a thin slice of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you see any of that crystal, I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, I've forgotten it. I know I've seen pieces of it before where I've been out and about hunting overseas and I've gone, oh my god, I wish I could buy that. I can't because it's going for a bargain. But you know that it's worth an awful lot more. So that's really put away for your retirement kind of crystal. Tektite. Tektite is not a very fashionable kind of crystal, but you can get plenty of it in tumblestones. And this is about anchoring the ability to work with your starseed origin or your channel and pull down the information or data that it wants to bring through. It's like a auditory channel, a writer's crystal would be the tektite. It's an amplifier of wisdom and also other worlds, they're saying to me. So when you're tapping into otherworldly connections or light being energy, this would be a right crystal to work with. And if you really wanted to boost your amplification on your channel, you would work with it in conjunction with something like the Celestial quartz. I had to do that where I was like just working with the energy. Okay, and then we have the piece de resistance. Drum roll. This is the be all and end all in crystals. Okay, so as much as I love working with Herkimer diamonds, and I do.
They're Brad Pitt crystals.
Oh no, this is just like as far as it goes. And I'm going to talk about something that I got off of a client the other day. So this here, this is monumental Libyan desert glass. It's called the Master Manifestor's crystal. And this baby's been set with all the other alchemy of the Ankh and the serpents and the wings of Isis, which I can talk about separately. This is not a cheap toy. This is absolutely an incredible crystal. So Libyan desert glass was created by a meteor hitting the desert in Libya. I had somebody message me the other day that said, why is it so expensive? And for multiple reasons. So with any of the moldavites or the Libyan desert glasses, you're looking at a lot of money per kilo to actually acquire the crystal. First of all, it's in a war zone. So Libya has always been a war zone, so it's not easy to acquire Libyan desert glass. There's not a lot of it around. And then when you're talking about Libyan desert glass, there's clarity on the crystal. So a lot of Libyan has a lot of white in the crystal, and this is super high gem grade clear Libyan desert glass. And this is really gemstone, you know, this is as good as it gets. And in addition to that, the other thing you've got to consider is the size of the piece that's required in Libyan desert glass is a large piece to be able to cut and facet that with all the other edges that go into the crystal to give it a facet finish to it. It's not just a polished piece. This would be a much, much larger piece in order to actually get that cut and faceted. And then you've got to get it cut by a master carver that's gonna, so you acquire the desert glass, then you get it cut by a master carver, then you have to get it set in silver and get it gold plated and transit it around the world. So it's not something that you can just pick up in China. It's a one-off piece, and a lot of the pieces that I create here or have here, you just, you know, you've got to appreciate. You don't walk into. My partner was saying that Burberry, they were all queuing up in the street for the Black Friday sales, and I'm like, yeah, but you can. That's mass produced. It's manufactured like en masse, and these sorts of pieces, they're unique. They have to be hand sketched. You have to source the crystal for it. It has to be cut by a master carver. It has to be sent away and set, and you have to do a casting for it. It's not a 5-minute exercise, and then you have to wait nearly a year for you to get it back.
It's a long process. That's what you're paying for.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So anyway, Libyan Desert Glass is known as the Master Manifestor's Crystal. I am wearing this one here, and I'd like to exchange it, but I can't because I have to behave myself.
This one's clear quartz.
This one's a clear quartz. So that's obviously a lot less to produce than something like this baby right here. And I do have another one. But the frequency of this crystal is always about setting your intentions to receive on a level for your mission. You cannot acquire money if you are not of service to others. There has to be a flow in and flow out. And I think that's about all the crystals that I'm going to talk about today.
They're all powerful. So
yeah,
this has been our most powerful live so far.
Really?
Yeah. Crystal
Okay.
wise. It's the whole table. If people could see the table, the energy's like master crystals.
Okay, so if anybody's got any questions, any crystals that they want me to talk about in the future, any questions on energy, ascension, timeline work, healing themselves, or wants to connect in general, then just let us know. I've got a couple of dates that I've just released for my Quantum Leap Transformation Program in business. For people looking to up-level or create a spiritual business, and that's at www.louisewinchester.com. My next group that's going to go through is going to happen on the 21st of January to the 20th of May. It's quite a long transformation. It takes quite a while to go through that process. So if anybody's interested in that, and we will be back online
in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks for another episode of talking about crystals and the ascension energy from Sacred Space here, and that will be on the 20th of December. So
Christmas one. We'll get Christmas hats for that one.
We'll wear our Christmas hats for that.
They
might be virtual ones.
They might be
real ones.
When we signed on, we had virtual Christmas hats on. We didn't know what button we pressed. Just heard your voice go, why have I got a hat on?
I had a snow hat on. Anyway, okay, thank you all for watching.
Do you have any
golden healer? I don't have any golden healer Herkimas right now. Yes, that's another type of Herkima. I can't give you any information. I've just shut down my channel. You know when you're signing out?
She's done.
Anyway, I'm done. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Love you all. Thank you so much for being a part of what we do here as clients and friends and family. Light workers all around the world. Thank you so much for watching. See you again at 9 o'clock on the 20th of December.